Hey, Daniel, who was the main character in Star Wars?
Oh, it was George Lucas.
Who was the main character in Star Wars?
Oh, it was J.J. Abrams.
Who was the main character in Star Wars?
Oh, it was Ray Skywalker.
And who made Star Wars?
Oh, it was Ray J.
Ray
Abrams.
Jabrams? Ray? He wanted to kiss his sister.
Ray wanted to.
I hit the intro. You can't hear us anymore. So stupid. So we watched Star Wars. We watched This is the first semi-pro Star Wars ever.
Yeah,
It's not.
The first semi-pro Star Wars movie without a giant praying mantis. Nope, not that either. It's the second one though.
First semi-pro Star Wars movie
third
to
one.
not come out in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
That's-
first semi-pro Star Wars episode in the last decade.
Nope.
Yeah, the movie. at
The
least.
movie, yes.
Not the app. Yeah.
But also
film
almost
on the-
not. It right now we're still
It's-
within the
it's-
decade, but it's been
we're
9
close.
years.
We're close.
It's been
Yeah,
9
it's-
years. This movie
yeah.
came out 9 years ago.
It's edging the decade. The decade is edging
I was
for sure.
15 years old when this movie came out.
Yeah, I was edging when this movie came out.
This movie is weird because I remember it showed in movie theaters for forever, which makes it really confusing to know when it came out.
Right.
'Cause it was-
Probably
I mean,
why
at
thought
the
it came
time-
out a year later than it did.
Well, it
probably
it
in
must have still
theaters
been
for a
showing.
year.
It probably came out like
it
middle
probably
of the
came out
year.
Late. Yeah, late or mid.
Let's see. I can look up
2015.
the release date.
Yeah.
Because I remember driving myself to see it. Because I went at
Right.
midnight, and my dad was not gonna go see a movie with me at midnight.
Right. You drove 2011. You drove to the past.
No, they came out at Christmas time, so it was December 18th, 2015.
Weird that you knew that date.
I
off rip.
remember because it was like a big deal because all of the Star Wars movies up to this point had come out on the same
Oh,
date.
good for them. They all came out.
Well, they had all come out on the same date because it was like George Lucas's niece's birthday or something
Oh,
stupid.
shut up. Who cares? Fuck.
And this
him.
one, people were upset that it came out in December and not in May.
Right.
And so
right.
I remember people being, because people get upset over stupid things. As we're gonna discuss that throughout this discussion for
Yeah,
sure.
well, Star Wars fans are the main takeaway from this discussion. that
Star Wars
hasn't really
fans are
started yet
horrible,
is
and
that
we
Star
hate them.
Fans are the worst, and they should die. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, they probably need to die.
If you're a hardcore Star Wars fan watching this, I hate
Die.
you.
You're the worst.
I
Die.
hate you.
Die.
Yeah.
But you
for
chill,
sure.
like and subscribe. Send this to your friends. Send this
Hit
to your mother.
hit that bell
Yo,
icon.
hit that bell. Ring that. Make sure to ring that bell. Like and subscribe. Comment your favorite part.
For sure. Before we get into
Comment
it,
down,
real
comment down
quick.
below if you're in Mew Nation.
Before we get into this, for sure, like this video. If you get to the end and you don't like it, just unlike the thing. It helps us on
You
YouTube
won't
a
get to
lot.
the end.
We're trying to become niche internet
Just-
micro celebrities
look,
3 times
just
over.
Fucking, like, post this on your Instagram story. Share it to your the 5
Dude, I know
to
you got a
20
group
people
chat.
that-
Copy the link and paste it.
Yeah. Send it to the boys.
Send it to your
Send it to
family's
the
group chat. You know
girls.
how like
Send
families have
send it
those
to
little
the
group
family
chats?
group chat. Yeah, just randomly drop it. Send it to your doctor.
Send it.
Send it to your
Okay, this is the specific
orthodontist.
one for this one. Send
Send
it
it
to
if you
your
have, like, a-
ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, if you have like a really chill, like college or even like high school like teacher that you're like chill with, hit
that
them
one
with, like
too.
an email. Give them an email link
Yeah,
to this.
that one too. But
and
I'm
say, like,
still on.
urgent.
I'm still
Your
on
ex-girlfriend,
specifically
for sure.
ex-girlfriend. Send
For
this to
sure,
your
all
ex.
any and all of your ex-girlfriends or ex-boyfriends, you know.
Yeah.
whatever
Right.
you do.
Women can watch this and the
Right,
homosexuals.
and also gay men. Yeah, shout out all the people that have sex. But if you're a
Right.
virgin, fuck you. Click off right now. This is a
No,
virgin
keep watching,
podcast.
keep watching, keep watching.
Yeah,
It's
no,
cool,
we
it's
need
cool, it's
everything.
cool.
All our watchers are virgins. It's cool.
No, but specifically
Shout out virginity, bro.
send this to an ex, even if it was like you were in elementary school and you guys like
Right.
dated in
Yeah,
elementary
send
school.
it to
Go ahead,
like
send it
like
to
the
them.
first girl you hugged or held hands
Right,
with or
maybe
whatever.
kissed.
Yeah, whatever you. I
Send
mean,
this
look,
to your
if you're
first
free,
kiss,
you're
actually.
free.
That's what we're going to land on. Send this
Yeah,
to your
yeah.
first kiss. Let them know how much of a loser you are.
Let them know what they're missing out on. So
if
this
you're somebody's
movie,
first kiss watching this
Star
right now,
Wars,
you could be on this podcast. Just send us an email.
yeah, hit me up on Instagram at
Yeah.
Savage Comics. If
Or
you're
the
bad,
semi-pro Instagram.
hey, if you're or the semi-pro Instagram. If you're bad, you can also be my first kiss. You know what I'm saying?
So we haven't even said the name of the movie we're watching. We watched
The Force
Star Wars The
Unleashed.
Force Awakens.
The Wake Unwoken, the Force
And
Awokens.
this is a movie. There's a lot behind this movie
The
because
Force
there's
Awokens.
Mary Sue. She's a Mary Sue.
The Mary Sue Awokens.
There's a lot around this movie because I feel like it's one of those movies where you either love it or you hate it. You haven't seen it
Yeah.
since
I
2015.
watched it. Yeah, I watched it in theaters in either 2015 or 16. Whenever
I
I watched it.
probably saw it the last
And I
time
think
in
that
like
was-
2019,
Yeah, that was when Rise of Skywalker came out.
which
that's what
was
you
5
said.
year ago.
Right.
I saw this movie
crazy.
5 years ago.
Yeah, that's when Endgame came out.
Right.
Crazy.
And so neither of us have seen it in a minute. But the people who don't like this movie really don't like this movie, nor do they like anything.
Right.
Because this movie is so much fun. I don't know how
This
you can
movie
watch
is-
this and not like
This movie
it.
is great. No, this movie's a blast. Even
I know this
like-
video probably has like a clickbaity title, and it's like,
oh,
it's
for sure.
like,
So this is the worst Star Wars movie ever. Mary Sue shill.
yeah, is
J.J.
the last
J.J.
is the Force Awakens the worst Star Wars movie ever or something, right?
Right,
I'm
but
gonna
no,
title
it's
them all
not.
this, and it's not.
It's yeah. It's
One
great.
movie
It's good.
in this trilogy might be.
Maybe
It's
it'd
close.
be close.
It's
yeah, we'll
close.
see. We'll get there though.
We'll get there. This movie's
But
great.
This movie's not. This movie is a romp, a ride, a riot, and a rally.
This
and a
movie's
rodeo at
quirky.
times. It's a quirked up,
White boy
whizzed up, gat in
Oh, no,
Ohio.
there's an African American in this movie.
You said. So this movie is
This movie's Star Wars.
it's Star Wars. It's a New
Li-
Hope.
oh,
It's
if there's
Star
one
Wars.
way
It's
to
just
describe this
Star
movie,
Wars.
it's literally
It's
just
Star
this movie's
Wars.
Star Wars.
This movie is Star Wars the movie. It is. Yeah.
People say this all the time. It's like, oh, this movie did the remake of A New Hope. The Force Awakens,
Right, but no,
all it
that's-
did was
that's
remake A New
Phantom-
Hope.
That's Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is A New Hope, but a little worse. Just a little worse.
Maybe this movie is a remake of A New Hope, and if that's your stance, I get it.
mean,
I
it
understand.
is
It's also a
kind of,
great remake of A New Hope.
But it's also like we said a bunch while watching this. Like if this is a remake, this is the way you should do remakes.
Always.
Where it like say this movie like ignoring the fact that it references other Star Wars movies and it is in fact a sequel to two other trilogies. Like
It's a sequel to 40 years of filmmaking.
right. It is legitimately the way you would remake New Hope, where it's the same plot points, same beats, but different characters, different
Right.
twangs and twinges and
this
threads
movie-
and schlip schlop glup shitto schlock. It's
This
schlock.
this
That's
movie
what Star
invented
Wars
the
is.
requel, and then the
No, that
requel
was
changed what it
Godzilla.
was. Because the requel originally was like, oh, it's a sequel that feels like a reboot. Now a requel is like a sequel that ignores the other
Right.
sequels. But when a requel kind of became a thing, which was really this movie, and Godzilla,
Right,
a
right.
requel
Can't forget
was
Godzilla. communism.
It was a sequel that changes the way a franchise feels.
I don't remember that ever being what requel was used for, but
It
I'll
was in this.
digress. I
People
don't.
called this a requel when it came out. I think
Yeah, I don't remember hearing that word till
Temple
like
of or not Temple of
Halloween.
Doom. Crystal Skull was called a requel when it came
Yes,
out.
yeah.
Could not
I don't
because,
remember
but
that
just because
either,
it's a
but
different vibe for the franchise.
yeah, yeah.
Now, here's the thing people don't understand. Today, in the year of our Lord 2024, it's 2024. In the year of our
That's
Lord 2024,
1738, I think.
1738. Hey,
You
I'm
want me to
like,
check my
what's up?
watch?
Hello.
You look pretty awesome.
In the year of our Lord 2024, the way people view the Star Wars prequels is relatively positive. People like them.
Yeah.
People like whatever. In 2015, it was much different. And the further back you go, the more hostile people are towards the prequel. But in 2015, things were still pretty hostile. People really didn't like the prequel trilogy. People weren't receptive to it. People were still angry about it. People were still like sending
Kind of.
anti-prequel memes to people.
Yeah. I mean, I think personally that around that point was when there was sort of a turnaround where it sort of
Well,
became about 50-50, maybe even leaning towards the proquel side, you know.
Well, I think I think
You like
2015
that
really
one?
marks the year in which that shift happened.
Kind of,
But
yeah.
this movie was done at that point. So you know what I'm saying? But like leading up to this movie, the general buzz was the last three Star Wars movies have been horrible.
Straight.
Which is
Right.
true. Like that's true.
Yeah,
I don't care what you think
for the
about the
most
prequels.
part.
That is true. Those movies
Yeah.
suck. They're horrible. Don't watch them. And so
Yeah, or
Disney
two.
acquires Star Wars, they buy Lucasfilm, and they're like, okay.
They buy George
They
Lucas, they
buy
own
George
him.
Lucas's film, and they're like, we've got
All
to
of it.
course correct these three bad movies and make something
Oh
that
shit, this
feels
candle's
like the
still lit. Yo,
original
it's
three
lit.
movies. And that's really how we got to the point of The Force Awakens. Because The Force Awakens
Right.
not only serves as the start of a trilogy, but also serves as like a palate cleanser for the last three
Yeah.
movies we've seen. And so,
Right.
and a lot of
It
people
is
don't
it
like
no,
that.
it very much it does feel like a attempt and a successful one to return to classic OG trilogy Star Wars. It is a beautiful homage and love letter to all three of those movies. It feels like all of those movies. Like everyone says, yeah, it's just New Hope, which it is a requel of, sure, in the old requel terms, not new requel, whatever. Um, but it's just like it feels like all the Star Wars movies, you know. It's got that sort of downer ending where Han Solo dies or is frozen in mud or whatever. And it's like, ah,
He's
it sucks.
he's
But this
he's
one he's
mogged.
really
Han Solo gets
Han
mogged.
Solo gets mogged and then it's also like, oh, it's a victory and it's like the Empire and it's schlock, but it's this one at least, and even OG Star Wars for the time, very high quality, high budget schlock. But that's all Star Wars has. Star Wars outside of Empire has always been nothing more than
Garbage
mid-tier garbage schlock.
with
Yeah,
really good
and it's
special effects.
fine with
Because that's the thing about
great
Star Wars.
ILM
Here's
special
I need
effects.
people to
It's
understand
what they're
this.
known for.
Because
It's
people
why
know,
they're successful.
because Star Wars fans are the worst. So I'm gonna explain this to
Mm-hmm.
you, Star Wars fans. Star Wars has always been okay movies ripping off other movies with
Right.
unbelievably great special effects. The prequels are the
Yeah.
same way, except for they're worse. They're worse movies
Somewhat.
with
Yeah.
still just absolutely groundbreaking special effects.
Right.
The sequel trilogy almost tries to change that to make
Kind of.
okay movie. Well, but even this is an okay movie. It's decent.
Yeah.
It's fine.
This
That
I
has
think follows
and it's
it's
beautiful.
fantastic special effects, great practical. It's just great all around.
But
It's
I would say the story of this
great.
movie is
What is a
solid.
movie?
I would say this is a
It's
super
fine.
solid movie.
Yeah. I mean it's yeah, it's okay. It's kind of bare bones.
Sure. I mean,
and
it's a
hinging off
standard
of,
good versus evil story.
right, and also sort of hinges off of the previous movies in the franchise, which is, fine also.
But even then, I think the
I mean,
only thing that
it
really
does so in a minor way. The whole thing they're building to is Luke Skywalker, the main character
right.
of the first trilogy.
They are doing the thing that I really don't like, which is planning a trilogy instead of just making a
Right.
movie.
Yeah.
But they do that in a way that I think works. Like it ends on a cliffhanger,
Kind of.
yes. But this
Yeah.
movie also has just a solid
Oh, a
plot.
cliffhanger? Because he's on a cliff?
Cliffhanger, hanging from a cliff. That's why they call him Cliffhanger.
I don't get it.
That's from Read Between the Lions. I don't know if you ever saw that show. It was about lion puppets.
It's from Reading Rainbows with
Jeffrey
LeVar
Epstein.
Burton. Nope.
No,
Not
this
him.
this movie, I think it has a good like beginning, middle,
This
and
movie a
end.
movie
This movie,
for sure.
Finn's life, a movie.
True.
But no, I personally, I stand by this. I think the sequel trilogy has two great Star Wars movies and one absolutely horrible Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Versus the other two trilogies, which has mid, awful mid, and okay but weirdly paced,
Okay. Great.
fantastic mid.
And then all right. Yeah.
That puts it at the second best Star Wars trilogy, personally.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Yeah.
And I would even argue it's pretty close.
I mean, if we're basing it off of, I don't know how the ratio would work of bad to mid and good to all that. It's like a pH balance shit. But
I got houses on both coasts.
really,
Yeah,
both of
pH
them?
balance.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
But yeah, because I mean there are more good movies in the sequel trilogy than in the original trilogy.
Probably.
Because I mean, I
Probably.
think on a legitimate technical level, it's no contest between this movie and New Hope. This movie bodies New Hope.
Ooh, that's a bold statement.
I'm on a technical
On a technical level,
level,
yes.
on a
Dollar for
story,
dollar, probably not.
maybe not so. And on a personal level, probably
And
not.
like
Having just watched
for the
New Hope.
time level.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
77 was a much different. I mean, the only
It
real
was,
sci-fi
yeah.
spectacle in 77
I
was
don't know, bro.
2001.
ILM from the fucking future, dog. They some aliens or something.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about New Hope. New Hope kind of
They from the Star Wars.
New Hope feels like a more modern movie just because
Right, because it's fantastical. It's
right.
incredible.
But the problem with New Hope, I don't think, is anything to do with the plot. It's nothing to do with the special effects. It's all pacing. That movie's paced horribly.
Right.
Apparently, if you believe any of the articles or books or YouTube documentaries, whatever, New Hope was completely saved in the editing bay because George Lucas
Right,
made just
by
an
George
absolutely
Lucas, his wife.
yeah. George
His
Lucas
wife
made just an
that
absolutely
movie.
horrible movie, and George Lucas, his wife, recut the whole thing, which
Right.
is probably true. I mean, who's the main character in Star Wars?
George Lucas.
He kissed his sister.
He kissed his sister. George Lucas wants to kiss his sister.
Okay, let's jump
Which
into the
is
plot
true.
of this. Let's
Oh, have we
quickly.
not talked about the plot?
No, we're only 13
Oh,
minutes
shit,
in.
man.
No, we're 20
That's
minutes
not bad.
in.
Okay. So,
So
Ray-
George Lucas kissed his sister.
George Lucas wants to kiss his sister. Ray Skywalker.
I guess he did it. He already did it.
I don't fucking know. Who cares? Fuck you and your mother. Ray
She's in a
Skywalker is.
wheelchair.
That's why your mom's in a fucking wheel. Ray Skywalker's on another desert
Don't
planet.
spoil it.
Fuck. The stormtrooper gets blood on his mask, and his name is FN 12817. Fuck you and your wheelchair disabled mother bitch. Bye 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 bye.
Which is true. That's true. Daniel said that knowing it's a true fact. Like, my mother is legitimately in a wheelchair. He knew that, and he still made that joke, and then sipped a PBR.
Yeah.
He sipped a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Hey, that weren't me.
after-
That weren't me talking. It was the pibber.
Yeah, so F12187 doesn't shoot. Kylo Ren does the awesome thing where he freezes a laser in midair.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Toad
like,
Dameron.
that was the
shoots
moment.
a laser at him,
I
and
think
that
both,
was like,
both
yeah.
the first time I saw this movie and this
And
time I saw this
rewatching it
movie,
just now, I was like,
I
oh
was like,
yeah,
oh yeah,
this is Star Wars.
this is
I like
awesome.
it as Star Wars. It made me
It
feel
is
like a
weird.
little kid watching Star Wars for the first time. It's like, oh, that's awesome.
This
Star
is a little
Wars.
tangent, I guess, but it won't be a long
Yo,
one.
that gentleman tan, he a tangent.
This does signify,
It's
I
just
guess,
Sigma Phi.
signify. This does signify like
Yo,
the
Semper
thing
Fi,
about
brother.
Star Wars that I'm like, yeah, no, this is because I go back and forth. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I love Star Wars. Sometimes if Star Wars had zero haters, I'm
Yeah,
dead.
you play
know what I'm
both
saying?
sides. Yeah, no, I hate Star Wars.
This
But
is
it's
one of
also
those moments
chill
where I'm
and
like,
dope.
oh yeah, this is why I love Star Wars. Because
Right.
that
Oh yeah,
scene
maybe I don't
is
hate Star
awesome.
Wars.
And when it happens, it's like this moment where I'm like, okay, I'm in for an amazing time watching this movie because
Right, I'm
awesome
like,
stuff like this
okay.
is gonna happen.
Baby be calling me Hercules because the H on my waist, but that bitch stand for Hermes. Okay, I done popped me a perky. What?
Continue Kant with the plot. Kant. C-O-N-T?
Motherfuckers off a pill always trying to fight. Like, calm down, Hercules.
Always trying to ice skate uphill.
Right, motherfuckers off a pill always trying to Hercules up pill.
Candle.
So yeah,
Candle. Candle.
new yo, I can't wait to have a sip of this Sprite can. Hopefully it's not candle wax. Oh my god!
Did you put an entire candle in a Sprite?
Nah, it was a Christmas gift from my mom.
I
and my
can't wait
sister.
to have a
It's like
sip of this coffee. Hopefully it's
I
not
also
candle.
got I got this one. This one I almost actually poured candle wax on myself. It's like some weird hard seltzer can. It's
Kombucha.
yeah, it's a Mountain Frost.
Oh, my fingers are stuck.
All my fellas.
My fingers are stuck.
All my fellas.
Got it. Keep going with
So
the
yeah,
plot.
Rey Skywalker, she's on the planet, desert planet, but it's not.
It's not Tatooine.
not-
It looks like
it's not
Tatooine. It feels like
Tatooine,
Tatooine. It smells
but
like
it
Tatooine.
has less moons, maybe, or more moons. I don't know.
Suns?
We never really Sun City.
It's
was a
suns on
graveyard.
Tatooine.
Yeah, and moons, I think maybe.
No, it's the twin suns of Tatooine.
It's the twin suns, but I think there's twin moons too. If there's two
Don't
suns,
think
there's
so.
two moons. I think so. I've seen it both ways.
Keep going.
I go both ways.
Keep going. There's only one
the-
sun on this planet.
And she's got this USB thumb drive looking speeder she drives around on. Robert Pattinson Batman holds up the thumb drive with a severed thumb on it and says thumb drive.
Is that a thing that
Get it?
happened in the Batman?
Yeah.
I need to rewatch the Batman.
The Batman is great. I just rewatched that recently. We should watch it for Gothic superhero sweep. But
We should
we'll
just
get to
do
that.
like the Batman sweep.
We should do the Batman sweep, but we only watch the entirety of the Batman the animated series.
Now we just watched the Batman, but because it's so long, we have to spread it over
Yeah,
the
we
course of
have-
3 weeks.
Right. We watch 1 hour a week. No, that movie's cracked. For as long as it is, it doesn't feel like a chore to get through.
It does if you're CB.
Well, sure.
Because
but
every time
anything
I've
does
tried
if
to
you're
watch
sleepy.
it, every time I've tried to rewatch the Batman, because I loved the Batman when I saw it in the movie
Yeah,
theater.
no, that's how I felt. The first time I tried to rewatch it, I was way too stoned. I was just like, "Shit, man, I can't follow this. I'm tired." But just beat punch. Why does the big bat not just eat the little? Why does the big mask not eat the little mask? You know, like just kick his ass already. Fucking superhero schlock.
Right.
But now rewatching it more recently goes crazy. superhero movie of the year, whatever year it came out. But
2022.
Star Wars, yeah, Star
It's been 2 years
Wars,
ago.
yeah. There's the Ray
Ray's on the
finds
planet. The guy's like,
uh,
"I will
he,
give you one portion."
Oscar Isaac Standard from Drive 2011. His name is Standard.
Oscar Isaac is in Drive 2011.
Yeah, his name is Standard. But he's in this as Toe Dameron, Resistance, not Rebel. Resistance. It's not the same. It's not the Empire.
It's
It's
not
the
the same.
First Order.
And this
It's
is
not the
this is my
Rebels. It's
problem.
the Resistance. They're
This is
resisting, not rebelling.
We're at the
Like,
point
just
where we
make
should
it the
probably be much
Rebels,
further in the
bro.
plot. This is
So
my
what? So
problem.
what?
Legitimately, this is my
I
problem
like
with
the one.
with the
This says
sequels.
wood pulp. I like the one that says shum pulp.
My problem, because I grew up watching the original trilogy all the time. My uncle bought me like the
Yeah.
DVD box set. My
Yeah,
uncle
no, I had that. I
groomed
had that like.
me.
Yeah, it was me, but my dad. My dad groomed me into the
He
Star
groomed me to
Wars.
be a
Andy
Star Wars
just
fan
groomed me.
with the original trilogy.
Yeah, no, I remember. I remember my dad. He like specifically didn't want me to watch the prequel trilogy till after I had watched the originals and like a couple years had gone by.
That's
Like
my uncle's the
he
same
didn't
way.
want me
Yeah,
to grow up with the prequel trilogy.
my uncle
And I'm
specifically
appreciative
wouldn't
of it
let
for
me
that.
watch the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
So that until I think he like had an age, he was like, "Yeah, you can watch those
Mhm.
new Star Wars movies when you turn 13 or something."
I feel like I
ridiculous.
feel like that's what it was with my dad too. It was like yeah, once you're like fucking like yeah, like 12 or 13 or whatever, you can watch them new Star Wars movies.
Um, and so because of that, my biggest problem with this trilogy has always been the fact that at the end of Return of the Jedi, we win.
They win. Like that's supposed to be like the big ultimate victory, field goal, it's good. Wahoo, victory
The, the
screech.
the the Emperor's dead. Darth Vader has
Darth
come
Vader
over to
is
the light
dead and
side.
also
The Death Star
reformed.
is
He's
destroyed.
Hayden
The
he's
New
Hayden
Republic
Christensen.
is
If
established.
it's the 2004 re-edit, it's Hayden Christensen. If not, it's
Which I mean,
that
we're
other
we're
old
young. Of
guy.
course, we grew up with
You know,
that
of course it
version.
was. Yeah, that was the digital DVD re-release that I had and still have on fucking box set.
Now
Like,
I have it pirated.
right.
Now I watch it on
Except
Disney
not
Plus.
really. I watch it legally. I watch it on Disney Plus. Subscribe to Disney Plus.
Um, but yeah, and so when this movie came out, and it didn't really hit me when it came out because I was only 15 years old. I had only seen the prequel for 3 years at this point.
Right, right. That's wild to think. Yeah.
When this movie came out, like it the weirdest part about this is that we don't win. It's just like, okay, all of that stuff that happened, it
Right.
was
It's
amazing,
yeah. It's
it was
not so much that we win.
fantastical.
It's yeah. It does it like it feels a little more Empire-ish, where it's like you don't win, you just kind of survive,
Right.
which is cool. It's fun.
It
Star
is, but at the
Wars.
same time, I feel like they could have done something different. But
Yeah, I guess.
I'm kind of torn because it's like we could have done something different. We could have not done the Empire. We could have done a new like Sith threat. We could
Oh
have
well,
done
definitely.
whatever.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, it could have
But
been
at the
less
same
blatantly
time, we've
just
got to course
the
correct
Empire
the
versus
prequels.
the Rebels. Yeah, I
Right,
guess.
we've got to course
I think
correct what
I
people
think
didn't
they could have
because we've got
found
to
a
remake
good
New Hope.
they could have found a good mix of that, but they
Probably.
desperately tried to overcorrect, and they were just like, okay, we have to return to the original formula where it's evil government oppressors versus resistance
I mean, you
rebels,
almost
rebel
could have like
fighters.
if I were rewriting this movie, you almost could have flipped it. It's like
It's a
here's the Republic.
rip off of Dune, which is all a Middle East conflict allegory.
Right.
So it's
You
whatever.
could have reversed it, and it was like, okay, the Republic is established, and now there's a terrorist organization trying to take them down. I don't know. You could have done
Right.
anything.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the prequels though.
Right. But I would rather see a remake of the prequels
The
done
prequels,
well
but
than a
good.
remake
Yeah.
of the original trilogy done slightly worse.
The prequels, but they feel like the original trilogy.
Right. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But who knows?
But instead, it's this, which is
Yeah,
fine.
we
It's
got this.
cool.
We got that. We got
It's
this.
fine. It was okay. It was good. I liked it. It wasn't great. Carry on my wayward come. So yeah, all right. What the fuck happens in this movie? BB-8 ran off because Oscar Isaac, Moon Knight standard driver from Drive, Ryan Gosling got captured and cock and ball tortured. Speaking of which, Daniel Craig was in this movie. He got cock and ball tortured by Mads Mikkelsen, who was also in Star Wars. He made the Death Star, and there's another Death Star in this that's like a super Death Star. But anyways, Poe Dameron gets captured by the new Empire, and then new Lady Star Wars. She finds little BB Ball droid, and then is gonna sell him, but then she doesn't because she's like, he's kind of cute. I don't remember why she actually didn't sell him. It was something stupid, probably. I don't remember. And then, fucking something happens. Finn shows up. Oscar Isaac names him Finn because FN 2187 or 281, whatever. He shows up and BB-8 recognizes his jacket. It's
it's
Poe
really
Dameron's
yeah,
jacket.
it's Poe's
and
jacket. BB-8's like,
Poe.
what did you? I think he assumes that Finn killed Poe.
Right, because BB-8 is a racist droid.
Oh.
There can be racist droids. There's
Can there?
racism in space. Why not? It's
I think the
programmed.
racism in space, the racism allegory in Star Wars is more directed at the droids than it is
Right,
from
but,
them. But
you know,
reverse
people
racism.
people that are racisted too can also
Reverse
be
racism.
I think it's just racism. But I digress. The robot sees the coat and then thinks he's bad, and then Rey gets him, and then they team up and get in the Millennium Falcon, and then they get away, and it's like, oh, that looks like shit, and then it does. It looks like shit. It's always looked like shit.
Yeah, she
fucking
says
piece of
that, and it's
junk.
like it's such a stupid nostalgia bait line, but it also works because the
Yeah,
Millennium
it
Falcon
looks like
does
shit.
look like garbage. She's like,
Yeah,
oh,
it looks
that
bad.
ship's horrible. That ship's garbage.
Right, we can't get in that ship. It looks like that's a piece of junk. That's a hunk of junk.
Is that what she says? Does she say junk?
It probably is. It's like junker or something.
She's like, that ship's junk. Our junk it is, and it's like a nostalgia bait line, but
Right,
it works
yeah.
because the Millennium Falcon does look like that, and always
Yeah,
has.
Always has been.
This movie does really hit the like original trilogy Star Wars aesthetic of everything looks horrible.
Right.
It's
Everything
the lived-in
looks
aesthetic. We
disgusting.
were talking about Blade
Yeah.
Runner during while we were watching it, which if we get if we get to 500 subscribers on YouTube,
Okay.
when we hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, then we'll start a Patreon.
Big things coming. They call
We're
me
at
Big
300
Things.
now. We only need 200 more. Subscribe right
what's
now.
up.
Send this to your ex-girlfriend so we can get to 500 so we can start a Patreon so you can watch along with us. Anyway,
Word.
um,
Yo, where'd my vape go? Did you take my fucking vape?
yeah, it's in my butthole. But anyway, this movie hits this like aesthetic of
This movie hits me in the dick, and I like it. Just like Daniel Craig by Mads Mikkelsen and
right in this
James
movie.
Bond 007.
Daniel Craig's in this movie.
DB.
Anyway, it
Yeah,
hits
talk about that.
the aesthetic
Gone.
of this world has been lived in. That the original trilogy hits, and I don't think the prequels do.
No, I mean, kind of.
The prequels never
it-
feel like the prequels are a great example.
It feels too glossy.
The prequels are a great
and that's,
example
I think,
of
what they were going for.
this
but-
world began to exist when the cameras started rolling.
right.
Whereas this
yeah.
movie feels like the world existed before the cameras were on.
Yeah, but to the prequels' credit, like I think that was.
sure, I
maybe
guess that was the
supposed to be
point.
the
It was just a
point.
dumb
That was
point.
the era that it was stupid. Fuck the prequel. That shit suck my dick.
There was a
like
giant
big-
praying mantis, and that was cool.
That was dope. That was awesome. And Natalie Portman's shirt got cut into a perfect crop top length. That was cool and fine. It's good. And I liked it. It was okay.
It happened.
It's just, yeah.
But yeah,
This
so
movie also
are we off
happens.
Jakku yet?
Kylo Ren, probably, yeah. They're in the Millennium Falcon, and then they get Han Soloed. Fucking Kylo
Oh,
Ren
what does
is
that guy say?
introduced, and
What is that guy? The guy with the
He
voice.
prays to what?
The guy with the voice. The guy with the accent.
Oh, the Kanju Club.
Kanji Club.
The Kanju Club.
The Kanji
Yeah,
Club.
there's a Scottish guy in Star Wars, and it's really fucking funny.
It's hilarious, actually. If you haven't seen this movie in years, watch it just for
no,
that.
it's great. Just look up that scene on YouTube or something. Pirate this movie just to watch that one
Right.
scene.
Google Kanji Club.
Right?
Han
Google
Solo.
Han Solo.
You owe money to the Kanji Club.
Google Scottish person in
And
Star
so
Wars.
Han Solo, when they escape with the Millennium Falcon, Han Solo finds it via like a tracking device, and then they
he's
go
got
to
some
visit
tracker, and then
Maz
he eats it in
Kanata, I
his
think is
big-
her name,
Yeah,
and
ball
she
sack
has
butthole
buttholes
lady.
for eyes,
She is a ball sack, and her eyes are buttholes. Yeah.
which is
And
cracked.
Yeah, there's some glup shitto aliens on the ship, and then
Right,
Scottish guy,
I was
and
just gonna
then
skip that. But
yeah, we'll glaze over it. We'll glaze it. Look at the glaze.
look at the
Then
light,
Rey
man.
finds the Skywalker lightsaber, the first one.
It's
it's the
Anakin's
one that got-
lightsaber.
Yes, Anakin's the one that Darth Vader cut off.
Because once
of Luke's
again,
hand
I
and
remember
fell
people being
into
upset when they
Luke
started marketing it
Skywalker
as
City.
Rey's lightsaber. Because they're like, it's actually Anakin's.
Actually,
it's Anakin's.
it's Anakin's
Nerds?
iconic lightsaber that
Real
actually
quick.
that he had fucking 200 of. That motherfucker was always losing his lightsaber.
I'm looking at
bro.
the camera. Real quick. Nerds, Star Wars nerds
Kill yourself.
specifically, you're the worst.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Hey, but you chill though. Like and subscribe.
Like and
Send this
subscribe.
to your ex-girlfriend. I'm just kidding. Y'all ain't never got
Specifically
no pussy,
next week, I'm going to talk about how much I hate you. So tune in next week.
bro. Yeah.
Because you ruined something for me. You ruined something good for me.
Maybe not that far, but
Nah, they did. They ruined it. They ruined the whole thing.
okay.
Watch out.
It's a
Wha-
talking
keep,
dog.
Sleep with an eye open.
It's an old man who drinks green milk. I mean,
That movie's great. We'll talk about it next week. We'll get there next week.
yeah, no, I like it.
We'll get there
We'll
next week.
there.
It's great. It's Ryan
Um,
Johnson.
Right. He made Looper. He made that one episode of Breaking Bad where Walter White tries to kill the fly the whole episode.
He made
What's that episode
he made
called?
Knives
Yeah, what's
Out.
that? Yeah, and Knives In.
And Knives Onion.
Right. He made Glass Onion and Glass Offian.
He made glass. He invented it.
Really? He made glass? He liked Unbreakable and
So they're on the
Split, so he had
Maz
to
Kanata
finish it.
planet.
There, yeah, she finds the lightsaber and she gets a force vision and she fucking lights her saber.
And don't forget Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh yeah, they
He goes,
fucking
Ray.
they cut his voice and Ewan McGregor fucking had sex with a man. or whatever.
Rewound it for some reason.
Yeah, it was important.
It'll come back, I promise. It'll be a big deal.
Right.
I say you adjusting your
Yeah, I'm fidgeting with my monkey. I punched my microphone too hard and it knocked
right.
my little squishy
Right.
monkey
You're adjusting
off
the
like I
rubber bands on King Kong.
Right. Did anyone lose a big roll of $20 bills?
Did anybody
in a
lose a
rubber
big
band?
roll of King Kongs in a rubber band?
Because we found the King Kong.
Oh,
Middle
that's
America
good.
packed in. Yeah,
Fantasy
he was
meme
on
about
top
black
of the
skin,
Empire State
Because I'm
Building.
FN2187. He's an African American.
Okay. So, Force Vision. Kylo Ren is in it, and also Rey, and also
It's the scene from the end of the movie. You've seen it before. Everybody who's
Yeah.
watching this video has seen this movie. It may have been a while, but you've seen it.
you remember it. It's the scene from
Everyone in the
Empire.
world has seen this movie.
Probably not, but maybe.
It made enough
least
money where
some
I
of 'em.
think like that's possible or something. I
At
don't know.
least some of them probably. There's someone in the world that's
Most
never
of
seen a
them.
movie though.
But now Star Wars is lame again. Star Wars went from being lame to cool to now it's lame again. But we'll get
You
there.
were
later.
lame.
You were
But Brit break down my weed
lame.
sometime. She has blisters on her knees.
Really?
But,
what is she a fiend? What is she fiending for?
Star Wars, the bad guy from the Star Wars. So Kylo Ren knows what he has to do, but he doesn't know if he has the strength to do it. He's praying
I know
to
what I
his
have to do,
grandfather's
But in order
fucked
for
up,
this to do it,
decrepit old helmet.
which is dumb. I don't like that stuff as much.
It's silly, but it's fine.
The whole
I like
Kylo
I like
Ren
the
being a
the
fanboy
discuss.
is weird.
Yeah. I mean, I get it though. It's like a whatever.
I mean, I love my granddaddy. He's dead. There's a picture of him.
Right.
There. It's there.
Somewhere.
Oh, it's there. I couldn't remember where it's at. It's there. There's a picture. Like, I love my granddad. But Kylo Ren never met his granddad. He's just a lame.
Right. But his bitch break down his weed sometime.
Oh, really? I thought it was yours that did that.
No, it's yours, actually.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
She hates me.
So,
she's going to divorce me soon.
Probably. You deserve it, though.
Right.
He deserved it, didn't he? He wanted pizza time. But Uncle Ben wanted him to eat his green pizza time. You should light yourself on fire.
Anyway, keep going.
So the
You're doing
Godzilla is Godzilla,
Nope, that was last
and
week.
he takes on Tokyo. Go Godzilla!
Go
Helpless,
Godzilla Rangers!
helpless people on subway trains scream, "My God!" as he looks in on them. Yeah,
You're thinking of Reptilian.
He prays to Reptar from Rugrats, and he talks like this. He doesn't know what he has to do, but he has to strength. He knows what he has to strength, but he doesn't have the strength to riz it. He knows what he has to mew, but he doesn't know if he has the gat to riz it. So yeah.
Kylo Ren is awesome. We haven't said that.
Kylo Ren is dope. Yeah, we talked about it a lot while watching it. Kylo Ren is so
looks
cool.
awesome. Adam
awesome.
Driver is an amazing
Adam Driver
actor.
is fantastic.
I know
a lot
people,
of people
don't like
they
Kylo
didn't
Ren.
like. They don't like Kylo Ren. They don't like that he's like an angry, angsty, kind of emo.
I think it
whatever.
sells. I think it makes
it's
this
really
movie,
cool.
actually.
Yeah, I think it's really quirky, and I think it's much cooler than Darth Vader in some ways.
In a lot of ways.
In most ways, probably.
When was the last time you saw Empire?
Year or so, probably.
Okay. Vader sells Empire. And you most
Right.
recently saw New Hope.
Yeah, I watched New Hope
Empire
last
makes
night.
Darth Vader into like a legitimately intimidating whatever
Yeah.
character.
Right,
This
no, I'm not
movie
dissing Vader.
sells. This movie
Vader is cracked.
sells.
Vader's design kind of sucks ass. I get it. It was the
Darth
70s,
Vader's
whatever.
design
He looks
sucks.
like a big black bug wearing fucking like life flotation
Darth Vader
devices.
doesn't look
Yo, the
practical
big
whatsoever.
Ass fucking mayfly, I'll kick his ass.
Darth Vader reminds me of Michael
bitch.
Keaton's Batman's.
Yeah.
In the way that it's like Batman is supposed to be like this ninja who can move whatever, but instead he's like locked into this pose.
He's locked
he
in.
moves like this.
Right. He can't turn his neck.
Right,
He's
and
just
he
doing
can't
these
move his
dramatic
arms, and
things.
it's
Yeah.
whatever. Like Darth Vader feels like that. Like he's supposed to be this big, intimidating
Right.
force. Like he can move quick, whatever.
But he can barely fucking walk 2 feet.
And it's really, I think what really like legitimized this for me was the Kenobi series, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, where it was
Right.
like the same thing, but it was the same suit, but they tried to make it
I mean, it looked
a
better
modern
in
threat,
Kenobi.
and
It
he
looked-
looks like a lame.
He
He looks like
is,
his
but
girl
he-
would be breaking down your weed sometimes.
Right. Only sometimes, though.
Really, you got Natalie Portman to break
Yeah,
down
only
your weed.
sometimes, though. Only when I get my giant praying mantis to slice her white bodysuit into being a perfect crop
But yeah,
top cut.
Darth Vader
The
doesn't
cut somehow around the
feel-
front and also back of her
Right.
her shirt.
That
Did
makes
she
sense.
spin
She just
as it was
spun.
cutting
Yeah.
her? She did a little ballerina twirl.
Darth Vader doesn't really work as a modern villain, and I know this. Everybody's gonna. This is gonna be like one of our
Maybe.
least liked episodes of the podcast because Star Wars nerds are
whatever.
idiots.
They're bitches. I've
Just
fucked
send it
all
to
their
your
bitches.
roommate. I don't care what you do, or
Yeah.
ex-girlfriend. I'm sorry.
Send it to your fucking bitch, your current girlfriend, whoever you fucking.
But no, Darth Vader doesn't really work as a modern villain. Kylo Ren does, and he's
Yeah.
awesome. And I don't care what you. Legitimately, I don't care what you say. This movie is great. Kylo Ren is awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, Kylo Ren cool as fuck. Darth Vader also cool as fuck. Don't get me wrong. He just kind of
But a
looks
little less cool.
stupid. He's a little less cool, but I don't know. There is, and maybe it's just nostalgia, but there is a
Maybe.
sort of classic feel to Darth
Now,
Vader,
I
where
also
it's
think
just this.
I say
And maybe
all
it's
of this
just
knowing
maybe it's just James Earl Jones. Like there's just something
but
about
Kylo
him.
Ren's voice is so
The
cool.
voice is cracked, but it's
I know
James
what I
Earl
have to do.
Jones. I know what I have to do,
I don't know
but I
if I
don't know if I have the
do it.
balls
It's
to cock
awesome.
it.
I also think too. There's a good chance in this discussion as you're watching this. There's a good chance I have a good bit of nostalgia towards this movie, given
Oh,
as I was
definitely.
16 when it came out.
Years ago, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I probably actually I know I remember what happened. I took a girl out on a date to this movie, and she wanted to make out with me. But
Right,
instead, I
right.
wanted to watch Star Wars. So I was
Right,
like, we're
right,
not.
been
I
there.
told her before we went in because we were dating. I was like, we're not making out during this movie
Yeah.
because I want to see it.
That was me with Rise of
the
Skywalker. Right. No, that was me with Rise of Skywalker, but the opposite. It was like going into this, I was like, okay, this is Star Wars. I'm gonna want to watch this. But then instead I didn't because it sucked. So I made
Right.
out with my girlfriend.
Mine was the opposite. I was like, I'm watching this movie, and you can. I've seen it. I saw this movie in theaters.
I
I
ain't
think
fucking with
3
no
times.
bitches.
I saw it once
mean
with
my
my
Star Wars.
girlfriend. I saw it once with my sister at the midnight screening. Once with my girlfriend a few days later. And then
So when you had watched it,
once
so
on
when
my
you were watching it
own,
with
I
your
went to watch this
girlfriend,
movie on my own.
when you were so when you were watching it with your girlfriend and chose to watch it over not
Yes.
making out, you had already seen it.
Yes, correct.
That's wild. That's commitment.
Yeah.
I don't know the game like that.
And then I saw it once on
That's
my
not-
own,
that's not for
and
me.
then my dad wanted to see it, so we went and saw it in IMAX because he wanted to go see an IMAX movie.
right.
And then my
I saw it
godfather,
in
the Godfather-
UMax.
I gave him the leg when I was a kid.
my godfather had a heart attack
You come to
while
me
we were watching
on the
the
day of
movie.
Force. You come to me on the day of Force Awakens
In
dropping in
IMAX.
theaters,
It was
and I have
Christmas
a
Day, I
heart
think.
and I have a heart attack on Christmas Day, and you
Um,
don't even call me the Godfather.
He's my godfather. He had a heart attack while we were watching the movie, and we got in the car and then drove
That's
to the
fucked
hospital
up.
to go see him.
Hope he's doing all right.
But no, so like this movie was a big deal to me because I was a big Star Wars fan circa late
You were a
2018.
nerd, no bitch.
I was
kid,
I was
motherfucker.
genuinely a big nerd. Star Wars was my thing. This was the first Star Wars movie in my lifetime since I was a Star Wars nerd released in movie theater. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna see it as many times as I can.
Right.
I saw it so many times.
Yeah, I saw it once.
And
maybe
Kylo Ren's
twice.
awesome.
Yeah,
He knows
he's
what he has to
dope.
do,
He's
but he
got.
didn't have the strength to
We
do it.
never even talked about his lightsaber.
Oh, his
First time a
lightsaber's sick.
First time a lightsaber has had a unique design ever.
Darth
basically.
Maul. Darth
Okay,
Maul.
Maul. But barely. That's just it's going in both directions.
It was the first time the actual like blade of a lightsaber has had a
Yeah,
unique
the
design.
hilts have always had somewhat unique designs, ish.
And Darth Maul had 2 blades, which was cool. But
right,
this one,
he
the
had two
blade was like
not only is it
it would look
like
like
technically
this.
3 blade, it was like warbly. It looked like lightning or fire, where it was kind of like shut. Like it wasn't just like a one beam of fucking
Which is
light.
awesome.
It's dope. It's sick as fuck. Kylo Ren, raw. That motherfucker hard as hell.
Kylo Ren, the blueprint
Kind of.
for Marriage
What
Story.
though? For Black Klansmen.
Really,
Yeah.
Kylo Ren's in that.
Says- Yeah, he says the N word in that.
Well, for sure. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
not.
You could.
Not in Black Klansman. Anyway, we gotta wrap up this.
Um,
We're 48 minutes into this
We're at
podcast.
the end, basically. They fight.
Well, no.
they-
So after
the
Maz Kanata
traitor.
they meet Leia. Leia shows up, and she
Oh,
looks
yeah.
so much better than Han Solo.
She looks fantastic. Yeah, Carrie Fisher aged like
What
some
was the
fine
thing
wine.
I said during the discussion? I was like, for all the coke she did, it may have destroyed her heart.
That cocaine did a number on her heart, but it did a good number on her skin.
It preserved her face, I think, is what I said.
Yeah,
Which
it
is
did,
true.
You know, she looks great.
She looks
you
great.
know, she did a lot. She did a lot of drugs, and George Lucas told her not to wear underwear in the first movies, but
Right, because there's no
you
underwear
know,
in space.
there is no underwear in space.
That's true.
But maybe now there
Currently.
is. Yeah, I think there's probably underwear in space these days.
Really?
They've come.
Why?
Look, they've come a long way since the 70s.
I don't mean like you
Or-
can't wear underwear to space, but there's probably none just like floating around out there.
Well, there probably is.
For
It's
what
probably,
reason, though?
I don't know.
You think women
Ship-
astronauts are just throwing their underwear into space?
No.
What do you
like,
think of
say,
women,
like,
Daniel? What are you saying?
Someone's like flying around in a ship. Why are you assuming women's underwear?
Oh, true.
Who said underwear, bro?
Well, I mean, we were talking about Carrie Fisher and bras because it was specifically a bra.
Yeah.
that-
But the line is just under. There's no underwear in
Right.
space.
Right. Okay, I retract my statement.
I hate you. So the Carrie Fisher is Carrie fishing her.
And she's great in this movie.
She's cracked. She's
And Harrison
fine.
Ford, we
She's
didn't even
good.
really talk about this. Harrison Ford is
He's
awesome in
good.
this.
He's Harrison Ford. He's
like
Han
the first
Solo
scene
again.
he
He's
walks on, we're like, yeah, no, Harrison Ford is cool.
right.
And I
He
know,
always
and
has been,
it's
you
weird
know?
because knowing how much he hates Star Wars and knowing he was just cashing a check because he hates Star Wars so much, it was still like he put his whole Harrison Ford butthole in this movie.
Right.
Like he was in it. He was invested. He was acting, which is rare for
He
him.
was locked in. Yeah. No, Harrison
It's-
Ford doesn't act most of the time. He's acting.
He's just
you
he
know?
just appears. He was
Yeah, he
really
just
good
shows
in
up.
this.
No, he tried, and it was nice to see.
And he was
probably the
cool.
last
Like,
time
he felt like
tried
Han
in a
Solo.
movie. Yeah,
That is
it
one
was-
thing I'll say for these movies. Each of the characters throughout the whole trilogy really feels like their character from the original trilogy. I know some people disagree on
Yeah.
Luke, but I do agree. I think
Whatever,
it's-
they're nerds.
yeah.
Fuck them.
But anyway, Carrie Fisher takes them back to the Rebel base, where BB-8
Yeah.
meets.
Oh yeah, we R2D2. Oh, BB-8 at one point does a thumbs up with a flamethrower.
Right.
And that's dope.
BB-8
That's
has,
awesome.
but we forgot this plot point, which is the main plot point of the movie.
Oh yeah,
BB-8 has the map to Luke, where Luke
he has
Skywalker
part,
is,
part
but it's
of
only
the
part
map
of
to
it.
Luke Skywalker, and the rest of the map R2D2 just has
R2D2
all of it,
has,
but we don't
which
know that
you feel
yet,
like you could
and we
infer
won't till the
where
end
Luke
of the
Skywalker
movie.
is, but C-3PO says something like,
Right.
R2D2 has been too depressed since Master Luke left to
Right.
awake from his nap.
So it was like the crucial part with like the X that marked the spot where Luke was only BB-8 had, and the rest of it that
Which
put
is
it into
dumb, because
context.
you feel like if you had just the X...
If you have the context,
you don't need
well,
the
if you have
context.
just the X, right, and vice versa. If you have just the context, you don't need the X, because it's just like, you know, you fill in the fucking blank, dog. It's
Right,
like,
but if you have just the X, you know the name of the specific planet.
right, yeah.
It's not the
some
brightest
it's some
plot point, but I
cliffs in
like it.
Ireland. It's fine. It's Star
The
Wars.
the new order, no, First Order has developed
First
a new
Order-
Death Star that's bigger.
It's a super Death Star. They're even
we
more
call it a
Nazis.
genocide star.
Yeah, they genocide and Holocaust.
It not
They're
only
Nazis,
explodes
they're
entire
space
planets, but
Nazis,
entire galaxies, which
entire
is awesome.
galaxies. It's like like fucking 500 planets at once. It's just a bunch of shit
I think
explodes.
it's probably like 10,
They
but
yeah, whatever. They do the Nazi salute, which is really
but
fucking
with
funny
fists,
and on
so
the
it's
nose.
the Black Lives
yeah.
Matter salute.
Right.
that wasn't really a thing?
I think Hydra. I think the Black Lives Matter. It's more straight up when it's at the
Right.
angle. It's Nazis and or Hydra
Right,
from
or
Marvel,
Star
which are in
Wars, the
offshoots
Star
of
Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah, they really
from
hit the
Star
Nazi
Wars.
thing on the head.
Yeah, which I mean, it's always been space
Right.
Nazis, but it's
Not
it's
as much
real,
as-
it's real blatant in this. There's just big
Right.
red banners, the rows of them. They're all putting one arm up at a fucking angle.
And it
It's-
looks awesome.
yeah, it's great. It's sick. Fucking General Kux looks like Hitler.
But he's got red hair.
He's
Instead of black hair and a mustache, he's just a ginger.
right. He
Which is
doesn't
equally
look
as
like
bad
Hitler
as
at
Hitler.
all.
But anyway, so Han Solo, Finn, Chewbacca
He
and
dies
Rey,
of ball fart.
they all go to the new Death Star to blow it up because they're like, there's a reactor in the
Right, the
thing, and
Death
if we hit the
Earth
thing, it'll
Star.
thing.
The
But
more
when they
Death
get
Star.
there, Kylo Ren is there, and this is when it's revealed that Kylo Ren is Han Solo's son.
I think no, it was revealed earlier than that because it was revealed like super like one-off line type shit. Just
You're
I think
right.
it was
You're
when
right. You're right.
it was
It was
when
much
Leia was
earlier in the movie.
introduced, and or maybe even before because when was Kylo Ren worshiping the Darth Vader mask? That was pretty early, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was early.
And
yeah.
he said grandfather, and then it shows the mask.
Right,
It's like,
right,
oh
right.
my god.
This is when I think Snoke actually says it in like that first little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, the big
this is when
hologram
they
man.
revealed that Kylo Ren's name is Ben, which has always bothered me a little bit
It's
because
fine.
Leia and Ben weren't super close.
Actually, haven't you seen Kenobi? They went on the whole little adventure when she was 10 years
right.
old.
But his name was Obi-Wan at that point.
Yeah, but in the first
Years
Star Wars
ago,
movie,
you helped my father.
in the first Star
Anyway.
Wars movie, she called him Ben. When he died, she said, "Oh, Ben." She said Ben.
Right.
She
Anyway,
said in New Hope. She didn't say it once. She
and
said
then
Ben.
he gets ball fart.
He gets ball farted. His son farts on his balls and it kills him. It
And
happens to the
this
best of
is,
us.
I think we said this while we were watching it, but this is the moment where it really cements how much better Adam Driver
Yeah.
is than this movie.
Right. No, this scene is fantastic. It's
great.
cracked. Why did my
Harrison
bank say
Ford.
I made a
Harrison Ford is putting his all
transaction?
into it.
Whatever.
Adam
Yeah.
Driver is putting his all into it.
Adam
It's
Driver is
beautifully
fantastic.
shot.
I know we've
it's
said that,
beautifully
but he's
scored.
So good, yeah. Score's great.
It's great.
Just
and
looks
and
good.
so Kylo Ren
Looks
kills
good,
Han
smells
Solo.
good, feels good, makes love good. Yeah, he stabs him in the stomach.
Which
he
is
knows
the
what
thing
he has to
everyone
do.
expected.
Doesn't have the strength to do it.
Right. He died a ball fart.
Because Harrison Ford hates Star Wars, and so everybody was like,
Right.
okay, Harrison Ford's gonna die in this movie for sure, and so he dies, and then Rey becomes the Jedi. She does the Force thing where you think Finn is gonna pick it up, and Rey picks it up instead, and so her and Kylo Ren fight, and she winds up winning.
Right. She cuts him on the face.
She cuts him in the face, and then it's basically the end of the movie at that point. And I want to cut this.
Yeah, then it's the big
here.
victory.
It's the
they
big
win.
thing. They do the celebration.
They win. They're going home to celebrate, but then it's also sad because Carrie Fisher, her husband died. Her son killed her husband.
Right, and then
And
they
then
send Rey. Rey goes to visit Luke Skywalker, and they do the big reveal. You've seen the movie.
It's after the movie's over is the reveal of the thing, and it's Luke, and it's there, and he's
And it's cool.
Yeah.
You said it yourself. You were like, I know what's happening. I'm on the edge of my seat, which is true.
right.
They did a good job.
Yeah, I was edging
Now,
for sure. This movie.
I
edged
want to discuss the Mary Sue in the room.
Right.
And that, by that I mean I want to talk to Star Wars nerds yet again.
Kill yourself.
Yes. Rey is awesome.
Yeah.
She's
No.
great. Daisy Ridley is a really great actress. The character of Rey is well written, well scripted, well acted.
Yeah, I mean she's all of the main Star
For
Wars
sure.
characters.
She's Han Solo and Luke Skywalker kind of combined into one, and a woman,
Right.
so you put in the little Leia in there.
Sure, a woman that is British because Carrie Fisher sounds British at times in the
Sometimes in
original
only one of
trilogy.
those movies.
Right? Yeah.
And she's great.
Yeah. No, she's cracked. Shout out
Legitimately,
Daisy
she's
Ridley.
she's a great character. And also, the twist in this movie, watching it for the first time, not knowing that Rey was the Jedi they were
Right.
going to kind of pursue in this, watching it for the first time, thinking it was Finn, and then seeing her
Yeah,
grab
and
the
then,
lightsaber at the end
and then,
of that.
Yeah, it's like the dramatic.
It
Oh
was-
my god.
Like, legitimately, like, dumbfounding.
I mean, to be fair, of course it was going to be her. She got the vision thing and she found the lightsaber.
Yeah, but even then, like, the vision thing kind of, like, sets it up, and then
it was
after the
kind of out
vision
of
thing,
the,
Finn
you
gets the
could,
lightsaber,
You could see
right?
the vision, but it was kind of out of focus.
Right.
Yeah, it was a little up in the air. It is probably just me knowing.
Well, you know, right?
For a
so,
fact, it's hard to imagine not knowing when you know.
Right. And at the end, in this fight scene, me and Daniel were joking about it while we were watching. There's at no point until the very, very end of the fight where it's like she's winning. She's a Mary
Yeah,
Sue.
I mean,
She's
really, the very end, she just got lucky.
exactly.
Because Kylo Ren's whole thing
she
is
holds
he's
his
just,
arm and then hits him in the face and then falls to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, she was maybe more composed than him. Like he was just too angry.
But he had also just gotten
like,
shot
right
in the
yeah.
stomach.
And also, like, that's just like his whole thing. It's like childish rage. Like it's
Right.
whatever. She's
Those
calm
of you
and
who
composed. She raised
who
herself.
claim
Whatever.
Rey is a
Fucking
Mary
know.
Sue and who claim that like Rey ruined Star Wars because she's a
But
Mary Sue,
also,
whatever.
even
You guys
if-
are all
even
nerds who
if
have never spoken
You're
to a
all
woman.
you're all nerds. You've never talked to a woman. You will never experience the love of a good woman.
You'll never experience the touch of a woman.
get a life. Get a life.
Get a
Get a
load of this
life.
guy.
Get
Get
a
a load
load
of
of
this guy.
this.
He thinks Rey's a Mary
Um,
Sue.
But even
Mary
if she
Sue's a dumb
is,
term.
even if she, yeah, stupid term. Even if she is a Mary Sue, Luke Skywalker is the equivalent.
What's the male
Anakin-
equivalent of a Mary Sue?
A Gary Sue? I don't fucking
I think
know.
it's something like that. Yeah, it's a Gary.
John
Gary who?
Sue.
Maybe.
Who knows? But I mean, Luke Skywalker obviously is. He never gets any real training, and he fucking I guess
hits,
a
he
little
blocks
bit
that
from
one
Yoda.
blaster.
He fights the thing. Fucking Obi-Wan dies and then becomes a Force ghost, so we can talk to him and give him advice. And
But
blow
even
up.
then, that's the same
Whatever,
thing that
he's-
happens to Rey. So whatever.
Yeah, and also, I was gonna say, so Anakin Skywalker is like, to all you prequel nerds, which most of the people that hate on the sequels are, prequel virgins.
Because all the original trilogy people have already been disappointed enough.
Right. I mean, like Anakin Skywalker, they made that brother Jesus. Like,
Right, and he blows
made
up
him
that ship
Force
as
Jesus.
a tiny
as a
child.
little he Death Stars that Death Star before he made the Death
Right.
Star.
To all this movie's haters, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
This movie's great. Maybe not great.
It's very
It's
good,
great
at
in
least.
Star Wars terms.
Yeah.
As far as Star Wars
It's
movies go, this
top-
is one of the better ones.
Top 5 at least, maybe
I would go
3.
top 4?
Yeah, top 3 to 5 Star Wars movies.
In terms of
probably.
my personal favorites, I would put this in my top
Right.
4.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say, prequel nerds. Come back next week. We're going to talk Last Jedi, and you're
Yeah.
really going to get upset because I love it. Last Jedi is my
Yeah.
second favorite Star Wars movie of all time. I
Good
love
movie.
it.
I like it a lot. I like it when the movie goes movie.
Would you watch this movie
but
again?
Yeah.
Would
Probably
you...
not for another 5 or 10 years.
I
but
probably
definitely.
won't because I hate Star Wars and forget
Right,
how
that's
much
the
I like
thing.
this movie.
Yeah.
It's
I
that.
don't know. I have to be in a specific Star Wars mood to watch Star Wars.
Which I used to always be in. I used to be in a Star
I've-
Wars mood all the
yeah.
time. Like once a year, I would sit and
It's-
watch all of them.
Yeah. It's like once every couple years, but those couple years have gotten more coupler as I've gotten older.
Well, it's
you
like the
know?
more Star Wars we get, the more it's like
Right.
you
You
know.
get the fatigue, yeah, and the more Star Wars, it's all like, fucking Boba Fett, where it just is like stretching out this fucking story that could just be
and
a
it's
movie
just
or whatever.
lore
it's,
and lore
it's
and
fine.
lore. And I'm
It's all
tired
it's
of
all
lore.
it's all
That's
it's
another
all
thing
glup
that's great about this
shitto.
movie. There's no
It's
lore.
glup shitto. Yeah, I mean there is kind of, but it's
Not in this
It's
movie alone. In this
Star
movie alone,
Wars.
it's just like, okay, you saw the original movies, let's make
it's
another
Star,
one.
yeah, it's lore that's Star
It's lore that
Wars.
everyone on the planet has seen.
It's lore that it's
It's
if you've
Star
seen
Wars!
it's Star Wars. It's the Star Wars lore, but also it's
You've
if
seen
you
it
haven't
already.
if you haven't seen it, it works in that originally trilogially type way
Yeah.
where it just kind of just throws you in, and it's that this dirty scummy Star Wars world, and it's like you're in it to win it.
Absolutely, I will watch this movie again, without a doubt.
Yeah, I'll watch
Um,
it in a couple years
I'm a
probably.
staunch sequel trilogy fan, other than
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker. The first two movies
Yeah, I like most of them.
are great. So yeah,
like most of 'em.
I think I'll watch it again. I also think this movie holds up in a way that most even modern movies won't in 15 years.
Yeah, weirdly so. Yeah,
It looks great. It feels great. The story's great. But most importantly, we really didn't talk as much about the special effects as we did while we were watching it. The special effects in this movie are fantastic.
Yeah.
Some of the best in a modern Hollywood movie.
Beautiful, beautiful film, beautiful cinematography.
Lots
Mostly
of practical effects, and I
other
hate to
than
be that, like,
obvious
practical
CGI.
effects.
It's so good. But it's great. It's great when you can have that. And this movie kind of embodies that perfect mix of practical when it's when it looks best practical, they use practical. When it looks best CGI, and it's obvious that CGI can accomplish more than practical, they use CGI because of course they would.
I think I said this while we were watching it. It's
2015.
like, this was one of those, like, okay, we're going to drop $1 billion on the production of this movie to hope that this movie makes $1 billion kind of movies.
Right.
But they put their money where their mouth was with this one. And there were so many, because practical effects are significantly more expensive than CGI. They just always have been. They always will be. But in this movie, it's used on purpose and for a purpose, and it works well, and it works great. I really hope that I know we won't, but I would love for that to be the standard. Is like the cheap movies use CGI, and the expensive movies can afford to use practical effects, and so they look better. But that's just not where we're moving towards.
Right.
And I'm not like one of those, I hate CGI. I understand, like, good CGI is an art.
Good CGI is great, absolutely. But it doesn't, I don't know. It never really, truly
There's something
impresses
about that
me
tweaked out
the way
bird hitting
practical
that
does.
thing where I'm like,
Right.
wow, that's a good effect.
Yeah.
That looks real, and so I feel like I'm in it.
Right.
But, whatever. Those are all the questions. Would you recommend this movie to someone who's never seen it?
Yeah. If that person exists, probably.
If
Be
that
like, "Hey,
person
watch
had
this movie."
seen Star Wars.
Would you recommend this movie to someone who watched it in theaters 10 years ago and didn't like it?
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. I'd tell them, hey,
Without a doubt.
fuck you. Watch
Unless
that
they were like a
movie.
weird prequel nerd, and then I'd be like,
Right,
well,
then
whatever, you're going
I'd
to hate it
punch 'em,
regardless.
and I'd spit on them, and I'd kick them in their balls.
But yeah, no,
and-
if I had a friend who was like, I haven't
Kill 'em.
seen that one, I didn't like it when it came out, I'd be like, all right, let's watch the original trilogy and then this one and see what you think. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they'd be on board, for sure.
Well, they wouldn't, because some people have their own opinions.
Maybe.
And that's okay.
Sometimes.
That's fine.
No, I don't think they do.
Right, fuck 'em. If you
alright,
have an
so-
opinion different than me, you suck, and
You're
I
an
hate you,
idiot.
and I'll probably kill you. So
So next
Fuck
week we're
off.
going to be watching Last Jedi, of course.
next week we're gonna be watching The Fly, the Breaking Bad episode directed by Ryan Johnson.
we're going to be watching The Fly, the Jeff
We're gonna be
Goldblum
watching
movie
Jeff Goldblum
in The Fly. We're
Jurassic
going to be watching Jeff
Park.
Goldblum Fly. All right, see
We're
you
gonna
guys
be
next week on
watching-
Semi-Pro. Don't forget to send this to your ex-girlfriend. Hope she likes it.